What's going on, guys? It's Shurman here, and we are back with another video. We have some crazy Alpha 2 news. Tiny Builder sent out a bunch of official things talking about news and storyline with updates to Hello Neighbor 2 or possibly some other games, and also there's some diary updates. We're going to be going over that and more, so make sure to stay to the end of the video. As always, guys, if you enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. Only like 20% of you guys actually press that subscribe button, so let's try to raise that number up. And while you're at it, turn notifications on, so that way whenever this new stuff comes out, you know it immediately without having to like crawl through Discord or have people tell you. It'll all just be combined here into this one space. Anyway, let's get right into the video. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is the brand new additions to the diary. Now, most of these seem pretty small at first. However, they actually could have a meaning. So there's only 3 of them. However, they all direct towards an Alpha 2 perhaps. The first one we have here is this bus stop. And I would love to show you guys a really big image of it, but these are really low resolution for some reason. But anyway, what this is about is up for speculation. What I think it means, obviously, is Alpha 2. What we see here is a brand new location, apparently. It's clearly Hello Neighbor 2 related because it's on the Hello Neighbor 2 diary. And also the sky and scenery is very closely related to Hello Neighbor 2. But when it comes to a new map, where in the world are we? There's a bus stop here, so we're clearly on a street and you can see the road. But what will all of this mean? I don't really remember bus stops ever being shown in Hello Neighbor, and I don't think this is anywhere near the location where we're currently at in Hello Neighbor. So what I think this will be is some sort of brand new location, or at least a cutscene, because there's a lot of scenery to see here. I'm pretty sure if you look closely, there's a house behind this bus stop. There is the bus stop, and there's roads and lights. So this has some sort of purpose. However, we're not sure what it is yet. But whenever I go into some more announcements later, we will be able to see that. We'll know what this is real soon. Another thing that we see here is something really weird. This image that we see here shows all 4 cycles of the day. However, if you go into the night one, we see a little moon. And if you look in the night in the original game, there is no moon. So what does this mean? Well, there's a happy answer and then there's a sad answer. So this could be talking about a patch or Alpha 2 just showing its in scenes. So we have this brand new moon here, and there's clearly going to be some sort of update. And it could just be a small patch to where they add these new day and night cycles and just kind of improve them and add a moon. And also there's all these theories going around of new locations and stuff like that. Whenever they add Alpha 2, this could be something, just an improvement that they make to the original Alpha location, and the Alpha 2 part of the game won't even be this. It'll be in a completely different part of the map. However, the sad reality is this could also mean that Alpha 2 will end up being a bug fix. I know it seems kind of weird to think about, but look at the betas. The betas for Hello Neighbor, they were very minimal, and they just were bug changes and stuff like that. So an Alpha could very much be that. If this is what they're wanting for Hello Neighbor 2's final game, and then maybe a whole entire Alpha would just be a very large overhaul of bug fixes. For example, maybe adding small things like aesthetics for the moon. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, because I'm pretty lost for what this is. However, the next thing that we have is just weird. So the last thing that we have on this diary page is a piece of paper, but it shows a bunch of random pumpkins. Now, when I saw these pumpkins, I assumed that this was going to be talking about Secret Neighbor, considering the fact that Secret Neighbor already had an update and a new one should be coming soon. But once again, this is on the Hello Neighbor 2 diary page, so what does this mean? Well, in my personal opinion, I don't think it has anything to do with the alphas. However, it could mean some sort of Halloween update. I know it's kind of a stretch. However, just adding pumpkins to the game for Halloween seems reasonable, especially considering it's October here in just a few days. Maybe when Alpha 2 does come out, they are going to add these just for the time being and eventually take them out in a patch. So there'll be some sort of Halloween event. Maybe they won't add anything, but it'll just become like themed for Halloween. Or perhaps, I mean, if you look at Hello Neighbor 2, it looks like it takes place in fall. It really does remind me of like that Thanksgiving time-ish, also around the time of Halloween. So maybe Hello Neighbor 2's season is like October. We see all the dying leaves as it turns orange. It kind of gives this abandoned theme park vibe because that's literally what it is. Maybe this is meant to be themed around October and around Halloween time, and this is going to be a horror game about that. And that would also perhaps suggest maybe that this game is going to end up releasing in October of 2021, because that's all we know right now, is that it's going to release in 2021, and in the later parts seems like it's going to be the more reasonable time, because that's usually when games work. Whenever they give that time frame, it's usually on the later half. So it would make sense that maybe maybe they're gonna slowly start to turn this over an October theme. Not necessarily a Halloween game, but maybe they're gonna add jack-o'-lanterns and stuff like that to help theme it for that season. Anyway, guys, that's all speculation, but we finally have some official news from TinyBuild about these brand new updates. It wasn't like a teaser or anything, however, they 100% mentioned it. In a community post, we just see TinyBuild posting something about Alex. I didn't even read it. And then in the comments below, they said, currently thinking of a mix of a whole bunch of Hello Happy announcements, alongside getting community managers to review latest and greatest. It will be a healthy mix of up-to-date neighbor news with updates on other projects. So what I feel like this is going to mean is that there's going to be some sort of event coming soon, and this event is going to be talking about the brand new Hello Neighbor game. And they also mentioned with other updates on other projects, meaning that this is going to be like a full-blown TinyBuild event where they mention lots of games. They've done this a lot to where they show off a bunch of games, though 90% of the people are just there for the neighbor games, and they're going to mix all this together, and we're finally going to get some sort of Alpha 2 news. I don't know what it's going to be, but there's 100% going to be updates on what they're doing with the game, at least, because as of right now, I know it seems small to just get updates on maybe their progress, but we literally don't have anything. There's no sort of tease, there's no sort of maybe the game will come out then, maybe the game will come out here, because no one knows. They haven't mentioned anything, but this is their first time saying that eventually they are going to end up announcing something really soon with some sort of event, and when there's an event, that also usually means that it's going to be something large, so maybe that's when we can expect Alpha 2. However, there's one more thing that TinyBuild did mention, which is that another idea is to just sit through and explain some of the videos, trailers, and musicals we have done. There's a whole story behind the greatest game in the world, for example. Comment to this to let me know. So what TinyBuild is mentioning, by the way, if you guys didn't know, the greatest game in the world, that's some sort of show that they did in E3, and it was an advertisement for Secret Neighbor. Now, most of this just seems like it's not going to be about Hello Neighbor. However, it could, because they say they're not just talking about videos, but they're also talking about trailers. So they made a lot of trailers, but they've made a very large amount of trailers for Hello Neighbor. They've made a lot of announcements for it. They've made some trailers for Xbox, trailers for E3 way back in the day. So what they're talking about here is another idea of a video to where there's going to be an event where I'm assuming Alex will explain all the behind the scenes throughout all of these. So will it be news? Most likely not. However, we might get some insight on how Hello Neighbor was created or came up with, or maybe some Secret Neighbor news, because they are talking about the greatest game in the world advertisement in E3, and for some reason they might be able to link that back to Secret Neighbor, because if you ever watch the video, it literally has nothing to do with Secret Neighbor. However, they just decided to put that there for whatever reason. Maybe we'll get some sort of insight on behind the scenes for stuff like that. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much going to be all for this video. What do you guys think of all of that news? Do you think that Hello Neighbor 2 Alpha 2 is coming soon? Do you think it's just never coming? I really don't know anymore. We need some sort of updates, TinyBuild. Anyway, please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Turn notifications on, and I will update you on all of this news. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.